Hi everyone, my name is Henry Pelchati and this is my PED 515 tutorial video for creating and using Google Forms as an assessment tool in physical education. I chose to use Google Forms for my assessment because I've had some experience with using them in the past, and they tend to be one of the more simple and easy to use assessment tools out there. I'm currently a high school teaching assistant and have the opportunity to observe any physical education classes I can during the day. And for this project, I was able to observe a 9th grade strength training and conditioning PE class. Some background information, as I said, I was able to observe a 9th grade strength and conditioning class, and the unit they were working on was, they were learning about the different fitness machines that are available and how to use them. The grade level outcome that I decided to analyze was Standard 5, Health Level 1, which analyzes the health benefits of a self-selected physical activity. And for this assignment, I had a total participants of 13 out of the 19 students in the class. 6 of the students were either absent or chose not to take the assessment. But in order to use the assessment, Google Forms, what you're going to need first is a Google account. And if you have a Google account, then you're going to want to go over to the Google Apps icon at the top right. Click that and go to your Google Drive. In your Google Drive, you're going to find the tab up top labeled New. You're going to want to click that. And here you can choose to create a Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Slides, but we want to focus on our Google Forms, and specifically we want a blank template. For making an assessment, we want to generally use the quiz setting. So we want to go up to the settings icon and change it from a general form to a quiz. For my assessment in particular, I don't have any multiple choice questions where they can see if they get them right or wrong right then and there. I have all short response or longer response, so I'm going to click to release the grade later after I physically grade them. What's nice about Google Forms is you can assign correct answers, point values, and all that to your quizzes and assessments. So this is the general template for a quiz in Google Forms. You got the title, you got a description. For this one, I'm going to show you how to create a assessment, and we're just going to start with a blank template such as health benefits in a physical activity. For the description of the assessment, I'm going to say students will identify 3 health benefits of a self-selected physical activity. The email option is usually given for quizzes to alert the students of what their grades were upon, completion of the assessment. So for the assessment, I just use the email to as a way to let the students know how they did on their assessment. So what's nice about using Google Forms is you can create multiple types of questions. For instance, a multiple choice, or you can even do a short answer, a long answer, or even anything with checkboxes or a drop-down menu. But for the sake of this, I'll show you how to make a multiple choice question. So if I want to ask the students, what is our mascot, our school mascot? I'm going to create option 1 being Wildcats, which that would be the correct answer based on the school that I work at. Another one could be Spartans. We'll just use 3 choices for the sake of this question. So for this question, if I want to assign an answer key and assign point values to it, I'm going to click on answer key at the bottom. Let's say I want this question to be worth 3 points. And I can assign the Wildcats to be the correct answer. If I want to give some sort of feedback for incorrect answers, I could say, sorry, you are incorrect. And if I want feedback for a correct answer, I could say, you are correct. There's a nice little way of giving the students some feedback. So that would be how you create a multiple choice question within the Google Forms template. If I wanted to add another question, something like a short response answer, I could do something basically as, what is your name? With this type of question, it actually automatically brought up the short answer response, but this is pretty basic of an answer. If I wanted to give an answer key and set a point value, I would choose the point value. Obviously, I can't put a correct answer in there because every student's answer will be different for that one. So that would be how you create a short response answer. And finally, a longer response answer could be something like, what are 3 health benefits of your selected physical activity? Again, for this, there wouldn't be a specific answer I'm looking for, because everybody's selected physical activity may be different, requiring different answers. But again, I could set a point value for such a question to help students understand, how much each is worth. What's a nice feature that Google Forms has is you can directly send the answers that the students, when the student submits their assessment, it can go directly to a Google spreadsheet that'll track the answers and when they completed the assessment or not. So in order to do that, you want to click on responses, and then you want to click on the little green box that says create a spreadsheet. And I want to create a new spreadsheet, so I'm going to hit create. So in doing this, we'll be able to see what time or when the student took the assessment, their email address, what score I gave them, and their answers such as who's their mascot, their name, and the health benefits. So this is kind of a nice feature because it tracks their questions, and it's a nice little place to see all the data from your students. So my assessment tool that I used in my class was analyzing the health benefits of physical activity through Google Forms. Obviously, this was more of a check for understanding and a homework assessment than it was a quiz, given the fact that everybody's answers are going to be different, and I'm basically, giving them full credit for doing the assignment correctly. But I required students to give their email address, so that way I can email them their feedback. Obviously, their first and last name was worth 1 point. The period that they had, PE, which for all of them it was 4th period, that was worth 1 point. What physical activity did they analyze? And I gave some examples. That was worth 5 points. And finally, the most important question of them all, what are the health benefits in participating in this activity? And I asked them to list at least 3 ways it can positively impact their health. And then I also threw in a bonus question just for an extra task of, to let the students know what they, or show what they know. So the criteria that I chose for my assessment was, as I said before, this assessment is worth 15 points, and 1 point for the name, 1 point for the class period, and so on. You can see that in this table right here. But to receive full credit, the students will complete all parts of the assessment, with the bonus question being optional. The students will demonstrate their knowledge by listing at least 3 health benefits of a self-selected physical activity. So the students will pretty much get full credit for this assignment if they do all parts of the assignment. And as you can see down here, the students, you can see when they completed the assessment, their name, what period, what their activity was, and their 3 health benefits. And you can see some chose to answer the bonus question, some others did not, as well as the scores they received. But students knew that this was not going to be an actual graded assessment, which is why some of the students chose to not partake in it, but others chose to partake in it and even complete the bonus assessment, which was nice. But I generally liked using Google Forms for this assessment. In particular, I liked how obviously easy and simple it was to use this tool. It allows you to create multiple choice, short response, long response, and other types of questions, as well as assign an answer key and point values to each question. I thought that was kind of nice. And also allowing the answers of the students to be sent right to a Google spreadsheet is also a very easy and nice feature that it has as well. Another feature I liked about the Google Forms is that when the assignment has been completed and graded, there's an option to release the grade to the students' email right then and there for them to review their assessment. It's a pretty quick turnover. When students complete the assessment, within seconds their data is spit into the spreadsheet and populated in here, and likewise when I grade their assessment, within seconds it's emailed to them when I release the score, and they can review that. Something I disliked about using Google Forms, which is really more of a school issue than it was a Google Form issue, but I had trouble sending an email to the students because their student emails do not allow outside emails to come in if it's not through the school server. And I was using my own Google account, which is, not allowed to be sent through to the students. So I had to bring over the students in class one by one to fill out the assessment on my computer. So that was kind of an issue. Another dislike I have with Google Forms is it's not entirely interactive in the classroom, kind of like, other options like Plickers and Kahoot would be. This is more designed to give students as like a homework assignment outside of class rather than during class. Considering the age of the high schoolers, I believe that this was an appropriate tool to use to assess their knowledge. It would be difficult, in my opinion, to use this type of assessment tool in an elementary setting because students may not have access to the technology outside of school that they would, in school. So I believe for elementary, using Kahoot or Plickers would be a much better option. I believe the Google Forms was appropriate for addressing my GLO because I was able to create an assessment that allows the student to self-select their own physical activity that they like and are familiar with, and then write out at least 3 health benefits of participating in that physical activity. So I felt just like a check for understanding type assessment was perfect for this grade level outcome that I selected. But that's it, and thank you for watching my tutorial video on how to create and use Google Forms to assess students in physical education.